Good morning everybody, good afternoon, good evening. As you know, GoPro just released a new update for the GoPro Hero 6, and if you haven't watched our previous video, I'll put a link, a little card up here that you can click on and have a look. That was version 1.6, and they have now released version 2.01. So I'm going to quickly read through this and just highlight what it's about, and I'm going to actually take you through comparison footage right side by side so you can actually see, and we're going to do a proper test like we did in the previous one. So they've enhanced the low light performance, and obviously this is something that I'm really going to have a look at, and I'm going to do side by side comparison. Another one is a fixed frame corruption bug in 1080 at 120. I never use 1080. I always shoot 2.7K on the GoPro. It's so much clearer than 1080, and you can still get 120. And then the reduced purple blue fringing in videos. Now, this is quite this could be interpreted in two ways. Everyone complained about the blue lights and the purple lights giving this kind of odd fringe. However, fringing is referred to when you talk about chromatic aberration. So if you ever filmed with a GoPro and you generally pick it up when you've got some leaves in the sky and you've got this blue and purple fringing. Sometimes it goes blue, sometimes purple, and sometimes you get a bit of green. That's normally when it's linked, when it's behind silver. So it's difficult to say what they're actually referring to if they actually fix the blue light. Either way, we're going to test both. I'm going to have the blue lights underneath the desk here, the LEDs, and we're going to have a look and see if it's fixed and if they've improved it. And I'm also going to try and film and see if I can get some chromatic aberration. It really depends on certain times of day. So it's going to be a tough one, but we're going to find out. Video stabilization, they said enhanced performance to look more natural. To be quite honest, I think the video stabilization was absolutely amazing. So what we're going to do to test this, I'm going to take the GoPro Hero 6 and I'm going to put it on a monopod. I'm going to hold it onto my skateboard. And so basically it's a straight pole connected to the skateboard. I'm going to hold it tight and I'm just going to skate down the hill in the complex where we live. And it's going to get a terrible amount of vibration. Then I'm going to walk back up the hill and we're going to see if we get some odd movement that doesn't look natural. I filmed so much with the GoPro Hero 6 and everything looks natural to me. So we'll do it. I do have one GoPro Hero 6. So the tests will be done straight after each other, exactly the same. Things are going to be mounted in the same time, same light of day, etc., etc., as close as we can. The next thing is upgraded auto exposure to reduce blur in medium and low light shots. Now, this they never fixed any video stabilization. Basically what GoPro is saying is when you used video stabilization late at night, it was absolutely terrible and you had this funny shudder when you were filming. And basically what happens is your GoPro is trying to digitally stabilize the footage, but because it's in low light, it can't really pick up key points. So it kind of misses and it has this shuddery look. So what they did was they upgraded the auto exposure. So in other words, previously when you had stabilization on and your auto exposure was on 0, it would be on say +1. It's auto doing it. So no, nothing's really fixed there. Basically, they're just going to boost the ISO or whatever it may be that they're boosting. It's never going to be good in low light for stabilization, so don't worry about it. Okay, moving on. High dynamic range. The HDR in the GoPro was never really bad. They reduced color distortion, automatically turns off the HDR in low light conditions. It automatically turns off HDR to prevent blur if there's too much movement in the shot. If you're using HDR, it turns it off now. You shouldn't be using it for that anyway. So to me, these are the things we are going to test. Low light and see if it's fixed. We're going to do the blue and purple fringing, whether it be an actual light or if they're removing to the chromatic aberration that everyone is getting in the leaves, and the stabilization. Yeah, I think let's get to it. Let's get that skateboard out and let's skate down the hill with this GoPro Hero 6 running version 1.6, and then we'll upgrade it and we'll see what we can do. Let's have a look. Okay, so basically I have taken the GoPro, stuck it on a monopod, and this is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the monopod in the center of the front bolts by the truck, and I'm going to hit record. Same test on exactly both, and go down, and that vibration is going to come through. Okay, so when looking at both of them side by side, it's almost difficult to see which one is better. To me, they both do a great job, and I don't think any one of them is actually better than the other. I am going to test the stabilization for the unnatural movement. So basically, I'm just going to hold the GoPro in my hand, and I'm going to hold it exactly the same in my hand, and I'm going to try and do the exact same walk so we can get something. So you're going to hear the dogs bark, so I'm going to walk away from the house. So let me just see where the sun is. Okay, so we'll walk down this way. So let's just test for any unnatural movement straight up in front of me. And let's turn around. Okay, and be interesting to see how this footage comes out compared to the other one. Okay, so this is with the new update, holding it exactly the same, and I'm just going to walk down the street, kind of a relaxed walk, not trying to keep it steady. And then I'm going to turn, and then let's go up. And I don't know, let's just check if this has a different movement on it. Putting these two side by side, I honestly think version 1.6 looks better. The thing to look for here is the background. The background stays so much more steady in version 1.6 than in version 2.01, which is a bit odd. There is one more thing. In order to fix the stabilization, they have to crop the video. So as you notice, GoPro always says that they estimate a 5% crop. However, majority of people are picking up that it's about an 8 to 10% crop. So we're going to put the GoPro on a fixed spot, and we're going to film in wide and linear. In 2.7K at 30 frames per second, just to see what the crop factor is with and without. And then we're going to do the exact same thing with the new software and see if they actually cropped it more or cropped it less, and if they've really fixed this. So the thing to look for here is the crop factor from left to right when off and on, and to be quite honest, they are identical. I try to put the camera in the exact same spot, and really the crop factor is exactly the same. So when it comes to the stabilization, have they really fixed anything? I don't know. I've never experienced unnatural movements before, and I don't see any unnatural movements now. On the walking test, yeah, version 1.6 seemed a bit better. Is it a purely scientific test? No. You know, even on the skateboard, they look pretty much identical. Not one of them's better than the other. The crop factor remained the same. So if I do find another way to test it, I'll definitely let you guys know. For now, I'm going to go straight into the low light. And the low light, this is the biggest factor when it comes to the GoPro Hero 6 and all the complaints. At the same time, I tried to film to get that blue fringing that they spoke about, and I couldn't really get anything on the plants and the leaves in the sky. However, there is some cool stuff you're going to see here that they may have fixed that horrible blue light effect in certain cases. When the light is off, it's pure darkness, and when the light is on, you kind of got the, let's just say, where we film with a GoPro, where we really wanted to excel. No one expects a GoPro to do great in the middle of the night. However, if you are filming in a room that has a light on, or it's fairly lit, you want it to be a little bit more decent. So let's check it out. Okay, so this is 4K 30 frames per second with Protune off, version 1.6 obviously. And this is going to be 4K 30 frames per second Protune off, version 2.01. So let's just put them side by side quickly. You can see there's a bit of a color difference on version 2.01, and I'm going to zoom in and do a freeze frame. And here you can see, if you look at the LEDs on the left hand side of the desk, that blue fringing has definitely been fixed when Protune is off. Okay, so this is with the light on, still Protune off, version 1.6, and this is version 2.01. Okay, now this is a side-by-side comparison to see if there is a difference. To be quite honest, I really don't know if there's a difference, and the low light here looks the same. There's a freeze frame, and you can see the blue LEDs now don't make a difference. So it looks like it's only when there's pure darkness that there is. Okay, so this is 4K 30 frames per second with Protune on, version 1.6. And this is Protune on version 2.01. So let's just do a side-by-side comparison. I'm putting everything pretty much everything looks the same. So let's just zoom in a bit and freeze frame. So here you can see that it's pretty much identical. There seems to be a little bit of a color temperature difference. It is on auto, so it's very possible, but otherwise everything looks the same. Now if you notice something, you would have seen that when Protune was on, it looked terrible. Now this has nothing to do with version 1.6 or version 2.01. This has got to do with Protune in low light. And what I found was absolutely shocking. And then I thought it was Protune. And then I was like, no, it can't be Protune. But I found out something very, very interesting. And I want you guys to see this. Check this out. So on the left-hand side is Protune off. And on the right-hand side is Protune on. Now when you zoom in, you can see that when Protune is off, it's absolutely amazing. And Protune on is just a wreck. Now the reason for this is due to the fact that when I was using Protune on, my shutter and my ISO and everything is pretty much set to where it should be, and in terms of getting out the best picture. However, I had my flat color profile on. Now if you don't know what a flat color profile is, it allows people to color grade. It also allows you to pull out a little bit of more detail in the shadows. However, the problem comes in where the GoPro at night or in any form of dark room, whatever it may be, is not very good. So it's not really pulling out much in the shaded areas. It's just a wrecked image. And this is what you're seeing. So I thought it was Protune. So what I did was I changed my color profile from flat to GoPro color. And it seems that it's not exactly just Protune. However, when I compared the color profile with GoPro color and using your GoPro on auto and not Protune, auto still does a better job to process the image. But I'm going to show you quickly what it looks like if you change your flat color profile to GoPro color at night. Check this out. So on the left hand side you've got GoPro color, and on the right hand side you've got flat profile whilst in Protune, and you can see there is a massive difference. So what does it come to? Is version 2.01 better? Maybe. You know, if you really got finicky with it, maybe in the low light there's a fraction bit of a difference. If I had to zoom in at like 400, 600% in certain areas, and definitely what they've worked on to me is not really the Protune side of things, because all my Protune tests seem the same. But when Protune's off and you're just kind of the average filmer and you're using your GoPro in auto, then definitely. But that's more of a low light thing. In terms of stabilization, no, it doesn't seem to be fixed. The blue fringing, maybe, you know, when it's really dark, and I think that's when people were really more worried about it. But, you know, if the room's fairly got a bit of light in it, like when the room light was on, no, I don't think it's really fixed. It's pretty much the same. A lot of the times I think we expect too much from the GoPros. It's a tiny camera, it's got a tiny little sensor. For me, the update is welcomed. I mean, great, we got another update. And let's just hope there's not any bugs or glitches. If there are any bugs or glitches and I find them out from testing and playing around some more, I'll definitely leave them in the comments below. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any other tests for me to do, something that you want to see with the Hero 6 and something that they've changed that maybe I haven't done, please let me know. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will definitely see you on the next video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. Other than that, have a good day, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. Goodbye.